Hey, man.
Hey, how's
How
it
you
going?
doing today?
I'm good. How you
Good.
doing?
Nice seeing you again.
Yeah, nice seeing you too.
How's your day been going?
It's been going pretty good. Met with some friends earlier and just kind of had some coffee, talked about just things that have been going on recently, and then after that, let's see, that was around 10 o'clock or so, and after that, went home and saw Charlie for a little bit, and then he said he wanted to visit his grandma, so I took him over there while I went here to do this.
Sounds like you have an okay day so far.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so last time, I don't know if you remember, we went over confidentiality.
Yeah, I remember that.
Basically, what that is, briefly, is whatever you say was totally stable between us and possibly my other associates that's in the building as well, but they'll be ironed by confidentiality as well.
Okay.
The only exceptions to that is possibly if you're in endangerment to yourself or the population.
Yeah.
Or if it's like required by a court of law, if anything happens, as well as if you wanted to talk about anything with anyone, we'll give written consent for that. So, and then we'll just go from there.
Yeah.
For the most part. So, do you have any questions about that?
No, that seems pretty straightforward.
Okay. So, since the last time we met, how's everything been going so far?
I've seen a slight improvement. I mean, so I just mentioned that Charlie wanted to see his grandma earlier today. One thing that I noticed is when he asked me previously if he would have wanted to see grandma, he would have probably just spoken one word, grandma, and I would have known. But he actually is going more in depth in this conversation. Still, that it's not that much, not as much as I would like to see.
Yeah.
But it's slight improvement that I believe is just going to take a little bit of time. I hope at least.
Yeah, it's understandable. But how about yourself? How have you been since the last time?
I've been doing.
Yeah, how have you been?
I've been fine. I mean, I obviously that's my wife, or I guess, she crosses my mind a good bit, and yeah, I mean that obviously makes me sad. It's hard not to think about her, but I've been able to stay hanging out with friends and kind of keep myself preoccupied while I'm doing that on my free time. I also have been working at the community center more, and that's been really enjoyable because I really like hanging out with kids and working with kids. I feel like I'm definitely making a difference in some sort of their lives, being a good positive influence and just being someone that they enjoy being around is really helpful for me, at least, to know that I'm doing some good in the world for other people.
Tell me more about what makes you sad about like missing your wife. What makes you go into that place?
I guess the main thing is just being, having free time and not being around my son or others that can keep me occupied and busy. Because I think one thing that I was doing all the time was keeping myself busy and preoccupied with other things to kind of get her off my mind. And so I would have these things I had to do to keep myself, like, I had to focus on, so I had no other choice but to not think about her. But I've been able to get more free time than I used to, and I think it's just the free time and the time by myself that gets me kind of in that sad place,
Yeah.
But one thing I don't want to have to be around people to get my wife off my mind. I want to be able to be with myself and be happy with myself if I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
And I think that's the only way I'm going to be able to really get through with everything.
It sounds like you've started to make a change, and you started to look at things from a different point of view.
I am, yeah. I've been able to. I mean, of course, at first I was honestly just a wreck. I was like, I don't know, I would go away whenever. Even being around people wouldn't help sometimes. Sometimes I'd have to leave the room and go and just be on my own for a little bit to kind of not be around the people. But now I'm better at being around people, and I also strive to be able to handle myself by myself. Because when I was by myself, that's when would probably be the worst. My sorrow. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. Definitely is. It's not the change I'd like to have in the long run, but it's definitely a change.
It sounds like you're not trying to run away from being alone anymore. You're trying to find ways in between yourself to cope with everything that's going on.
Yeah.
So that's a huge change.
That.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for recognizing, because I think like it is important to cope with things like this. You know, you can't ignore it, which is why I came to you, and just the numerous things that you can do to distract yourself from what you're really going through. It can kind of almost be more destructive than I guess fixing them. You know, if that makes sense. It's a complicated issue, but it's hard to articulate all the time. But I've definitely had like a different point of view, and I've noticed that the direction I'm going feels better than the one I was stuck at when I was first seeing you.
Yeah. I heard you mention earlier, like the relationships are changing, especially with Charlie. What have you been seeing between you two? Have you been interacting more? Is he talking more to you? And how is that really making you feel inside?
I think, like I said, it's just time heals all things, and it's just not really trying to rush him being able to talk more and and not trying to push him to do anything that he doesn't want to do. I think has gotten him to be able to feel a little more motivated as time has gone on to open up to me more, because I know that when my wife first passed away, he was, I don't know, he was just not. Maybe I would try to help get him to kind of open up a little more and talk to other people, or I was pushing him in a way that I don't think he needed at that time period, and that was partially due to my sorrow for my wife passing away. But as time has gone on, I kind of backed away, let him have his space, let him do his thing, but also still be there for him when he knows just like let him know that I'm here if he needs anything. And so I think him knowing that I'm there for that is really helpful to him. And of course, he's always comfortable with his grandma, so I try to take him there as much as I can, because if I can't be the one that he's going to open up to, then I can't become that just like that, So but I know he probably needs to open up, and so I'm not gonna be jealous because he likes to talk to his grandma more than he likes to talk to me. That's just not right.
It sounds like you're taking your actions that you feel is best fit for him and yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks. I have been. The changes I've made with like our dynamics have definitely been they've been hard to go through, because it's just kind of hard to kind of let things happen as they are, but they, I think it's for the better as time goes on.
And I heard you say you mentioned work earlier.
Uh,
How has that been like working with the children? How has that experience been helping you?
it's been going pretty great, honestly. I mean, before I was working at my earlier job, that was right around the time when my wife passed away, and I love hanging out with kids, and it's awesome being there for them and just like being there to have fun with them, you know. And that's what I used to do with Charlie. But then when my wife passed away, that enjoyment went away because Charlie wasn't talking for that time period, and so I felt I wasn't able to enjoy what I like to do with my son. And so now that I've been able to work with these kids, it's been good for me to kind of have that back in a sense. You know, I in like even though it's not how I used to be with Charlie, it's developing, and I think my sorrow for not being able to have that sort of dynamic with any kid is going away because now I'm able to be a good influence in other kids' lives, and I'm still there for Charlie as well, always. But if it seems like he doesn't necessarily want me so much to be the best, like not that he doesn't want me the best influence, word that wrong, but that he needs his own time, like I was saying earlier, and me forcing my presence on him does none of us any good. And so I think I'm able to get that satisfaction of the dynamic that I have with my son and able to translate it to other kids because it's good to I don't know, it's just good to have that dynamic.
Hold on one second, excuse me. Could you tell me more about how you said your influence has been? Like, yeah,
Influence towards
like this Charlie, the kids. Like, what are you providing?
yeah. I think I've been providing them as a playful sort of influence.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of they kind of just being able to play basketball with the kids or help coach them to become better basketball players because a lot of them are really into basketball. They're all on recreational teams and they've been working really hard. So it's been nice to because I used to play basketball in high school. So I love basketball, and so show them show them a few things, and they seem to really enjoy it. And so yeah, and I think maybe my expectation on sports, because Charlie chose baseball, which I played baseball a good bit. I played for about 2 years in high school. Maybe my expectation for sports could have gotten Charlie to feel a little down on himself because he likes playing baseball, but it's not really so much his favorite sport. He's more of the reader and educational type, and so it's interesting because I am playful with Charlie, but I think maybe I've been ignoring the part that is so much of him, which is the intellectual reader and writer and an artist that he is, honestly. And so recognizing that is a big step, I think, in my developing as a father, because like I said, you can't push these kids to do anything that they don't feel good, and because the more you push them towards something, you're also pushing them away from your bond, you know.
Sounds like you've really developed an understanding, like as time went on, about how he's functioning, how you all functioning together. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it because our yeah, just, I don't know, just understanding how your relationship is kind of it takes time. You know, you think it is one way, and then like something happens, or you isn't what was there isn't there so much anymore, and you kind of got to take a step back and look at what you're doing, which is what I've been trying to do, and just see where I'm wrong as being a father. And I noticed that what I've been doing wrong as a father is not really helping Charlie with this tough time that we've been dealing with, like with my wife passing away, him not having his mom around anymore.
Yeah, it sounds like you're doing good with like recognizing your own problems. But where would you say like you would want to be in your life, mentally, physically, emotionally? Like, what point would you want to get to for yourself?
I I would like to be able to come to terms more with seeing having just come to terms with my wife being gone, and you know it's not bad to feel sad about it because it's important and it shows that I care, that I loved her, and what we had was amazing. But I need to come to terms, and I think just as hard as it is to say, just move on, and don't ever like try to forget it, because that's just not the way to do it. But open up to new possibilities, new relationships, and not look back on the past as the the better times, because I think I have some great times ahead of me with my son still growing up and me starting a new job and starting to get more into my career, and hopefully I'll move up in the community center and become some sort of director, and maybe start a new relationship, find another girl maybe. But as of now, I'm taking it one step at a time.
Have you like started to set goals for yourself, like little small goals that you want to see yourself accomplish in the near future?
Yeah, I mean, to a certain extent, I think one thing that I have been setting up goals for isn't work per se, which is really trying to stand out as one of the main workers and just working as a professional with kids and helping them out and getting them excited about what's going on, because a lot of them are also pretty down because it's a lot of oppressed families that are bringing their kids there because their parents are working all the time, and so I'm just trying to increase my professionalism as a worker at the community center. So that's a smaller goal I've been wanting to make. And as for with my relationship with Charlie, I think it would be nice to go somewhere with him and be able to have some good one-on-one time with him. And because I've been giving him this time to figure things out and sort of just kind of be his own get himself to not feel pressured to act anyway. And I hope he understands that, and it would be nice to be able to spend one-on-one time with him so we can hang out, and he knows that he doesn't have to be a certain way around me, because I mean I love him and he's great however he is, and if he doesn't feel like he needs to open up all the time to me, that's fine. It'd be cool to just be with him and maybe go on a trip to some cool city for a little bit and just take a vacation.
Well, it sounds like you really starting to get the right mindset of where you want everything to go and how you want to deal with everything. So I think that's good enough for today. We're gonna wrap this up here.
Yeah.
But I would love to see you soon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really, yeah. And possibly, maybe next time you tell me what you and Charlie have been doing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. I could definitely do
alright, so, I appreciate you for coming in today.
Yeah.
Thank you, man. And, I'll be giving you a call
Okay.
to follow up on you, see how things are going.
that. That sounds great.
Alright?
Yeah.
Alright.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.